welcome to another episode of This Is My Architecture, live once again in Sydney. With me today, I've got Michael Ludwig, Principal Consultant at Enterprise IT. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today and walking us through this.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about what Enterprise IT does?
So Enterprise IT is a company from New Zealand, from Auckland, and we deliver bespoke solutions for our customers, enterprise customers, large companies.
Awesome. And can you tell me a little bit about the business problem for the architecture we're going to walk through today?
So we were approached by one of our customers, a large New Zealand airline. You guess who that could be? And we were asked to help them with the implementation and delivery of a machine learning project that helps them with capacity predictions and revenue management.
Okay, so capacity predictions, incredibly important for airlines to operate efficiently. Walk us through the architecture.
So the architecture is pretty simple because we do batch processing. We don't do like online stuff.
Okay, so can you draw us up the data flow?
So what happens every 5 a.m. in the morning, we start this glue job. Lots of glue jobs, and these glue jobs, they transform data from on-prem databases. That can be Oracle, that can be SQL Server, and some others. They transform it, they pack it into Parquet files, and they store it into S3.
Awesome, so we've taken data from a variety of on-premises sources over in the airline's databases, transformed it and stored it in a format that works for us for this architecture. Yes. But what happens then? Like, this is the crux of it. This is the interesting part. Tell us about what happens then.
So we've got a little scheduler process that runs with CloudWatch events, and that spins up hundreds of Fargate containers. They all start in parallel, so we don't do sequential, they all start in parallel.
And is that because you're time constrained?
We are time constrained, yes. So due to the nature of the business, data are coming through from different time zones, and the latest data are only available at 5 a.m. And we have to be ready with our predictions by 9 a.m. when the sales and revenue management starts their day.
You obviously need those people to have the data. So 5 a.m., bang, we start the containers here. Talk us through the data flow.
So we start hundreds of containers. They all run the same code, but they've got different parameters, so for different segments of the predictions.
What kind of code?
Sorry, it's an R script.
R script? And what kind of thing is happening inside of that?
That was developed by data scientists. I'm not a data scientist, so for me it's data scientist magic.
Okay.
But I think it does the right thing.
Okay, and what's that code doing then? Talk us through how it's talking to us.
So if I take one container, the container gets parameters like what segment of data it needs to do. It could be like Auckland, Sydney, Auckland, stuff like that. And it reads data from Athena. It requests data from Athena. Athena is an interface for the Parquet files that we created in a previous step. So Athena in turn reads the data from S3, transforms it. It's a SQL query, and gives it to the Fargate container, the Fargate R script. The R script then does what it needs to do. It takes a couple of minutes for each of the segments, and then it writes intermediate data into RDS.
Okay, so the intermediate data is written, then what do we need to do with that intermediate data?
So when we are waiting for all those containers to finish their job, each of those containers writes these intermediate data into RDS, and then in the end we spin another couple of containers. I think it's about 4 containers, and they do the final consolidation, validation, export, and stuff like that. And again, those containers write it again into S3. Well, there is a tick, everything is good, and we are happy.
Pulling back the temporary data or the intermediate data, processing, and then writing back again.
Yeah. So it
awesome,
like
and that process is again controlled through CloudWatch?
So first we launched that controller, the little controller container, that orchestrates everything. So it orchestrates the glue, the Fargate main processing, and the Fargate post-processing as well.
Awesome.
And when that is all done, our job is done for the next 20 hours, and we start again.
Shut everything down and stop paying for it, and wait until the next day.
That's awesome, because during the day we only pay for this Aurora Postgres, and for nothing else. All this is ephemeral, it dies by
Awesome.
9 a.m. and we don't pay you anything.
What a fantastic architecture, what a fantastic way to help your customer. Michael, thank you so much for coming and talking us through this.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of This Is My Architecture. Back to the desk.